Hello guys, welcome to Silver Shine India, right? And today again we are back with another feedback, and this is like just very quick video, very short video pointing only errors, right? And which needs to be improved and what not, right? So let's quickly begin. So my first point is intro should be very great, very exciting, at least in the beginning, right? Specifically, it's come from the SFX and your BGM. Usually it shouldn't, every time your voiceover should not be overpowered by the BGM, right? It should not be overpowered by the SFX in the entire movie, even in the intro as well as. But my point is just to little bit raise your BGM, and SFX should be normal, right? But at least raise some BGM part in your trailer, in your intro part of the movie, right? And apart from it, what I need to focus on is specifically it should be a trailer driven music, right? You can get the trailer driven music every time. You have access to every premium library right now, right? So use that kind of thing. So let's quickly see what I wanted to say over here and what's not, right? Let's see one quick video from in the trailer part, and then we'll compare another one from our company, right?
Jolo had more spending power than just about anyone on Earth.
One of the biggest heists in history.
Jolo just stole billions of dollars.
One of the biggest frauds.
Corruption cases.
So this much you have listened, and this is the intro part is going on, and you listen this.
One day, this once young and dread as world of finance, few names can invoke as much terror and dread as that of Carl Icahn. One day, this once young and ambitious financier unleashes his audacious plan to take over Transworld Airlines.
So music is there, but it's not overpowering, right? It's not in the way it should be like.
And assets. This was liquid cash.
One more thing you need to listen. You need to listen. Both movies are like on the same rendered, right? But one has wrong audio setting or not that good audio settings. Listen the voiceovers.
He takes the challenge head on and emerges victorious, turning the fortunes of the company around.
And you listen to it.
Foundation of context for the future.
Can you listen the voice BGM as well?
See, whilst Jolo's family were wealthy, many of Joe's classmates at Harrow were a whole different level of wealth.
Receiving the McCosh Prize for the finest.
Can you listen any BGM? Can you listen any BGM?
Student in the philosophy department, Icahn graduated in 1957.
Could unlock all kinds of doors. After Harrow, Jolo went to Wharton University in America, and he was continually trying to build his personal
Can you listen
brands.
The feel of the music?
The trading floors of Wall Street weren't enough anymore. He wanted to control.
All the graphics are good, but no music, right? So first thing is very clear. Now what I wanted to say. Now let's remove this. Now let's see what are the feedbacks from my side. Okay. So one thing is clear, like render in good audio setting or raise it. Simply raise it. It's sounding low and other movies like, okay.
In the world of finance, few names.
So graphic is good, okay. There is no problem into it. Okay.
Can invoke as much terror and dread as that of Carl Icahn.
So I mentioned the light is more over here. So I don't do anything which I'm saying. Leave it for right now, okay. But only do those corrections because the movie is already late and we need to deliver it ASAP, right? So just quickly do only those things which I am focusing on. But in the journal I'm saying the light over here is more than usual, right? When it kills the graphics, then it's problematic, okay. I know it's looking nice, but this golden light reflection is a lot more than that and than expected, right? So quickly see next comment. So the chapter animation I'm talking, it's looking blur in full video. Either mask him or escape this. Let's go to the chapter animation now, because we don't have time that much to quickly see everything. So I mentioned increase the voiceover and BGM over here.
In the world of finance, few names can invoke as much terror.
So let's quickly move on to chapter animation part. So you see the graphics difference, right? It's not getting there. Okay.
financier get to where he is today?
So you see the graphics is good, but
What did it take? This is the fascinating and controversial story of Carl Celian Icahn, his struggles and journey to the top.
so you see, now either you mask it or you do anything else, I don't know. Chapter animation, I asked you to move some smoke over here so that these chapter animation in early life can look. You have rendered in a very wrong setting. See, it's looking blur quality. It may be due to the overlay in this template of work, right? But it can also be due anything else. You must have rendered in the wrong setting. So you see, it's not in the high quality, and this particular guy is also looking in not high quality. So it may be just because of the effect overlay. I can see shimmering of the text. So it can be due to, you can put the text above the overlay layer, right? So you just got my point. Now let's quickly move to the next point. So I mentioned that you can use something like background, or for visibility you can use some smoke or something else, like I said, as a blue dark smoke, right? Again, now in this part, okay, this aeroplane part, I have to see continuously where these parts are, right? So it's not visible right now. Oh my god. Use some aeroplane SFX and particle in the background. So you see in the intro,
Evoke as much terror and dread
this scene is good, specifically this 3D scene.
as that of Carl Icahn. One day, this once young and ambitious plan to take over Transworld Airlines.
So I asked you to add some particles into it. It's looking way empty, right? See, this part is empty, this part is empty. Either use some background image or photo, video, or particles. At least the particle is required for right now. Okay, use some particle and over here, this scene.
A struggling airline
This flickering effect that you have used this time is nice.
company that was thought to be beyond.
And this time you have used lots of background that I can notice right now. Now let's move this. Very short and low volume. So you, as I have already compared your voice and other movies, and even our other movies are very high quality, right? In terms of voiceover and BGM. So your settings are wrong, right?
Saving. Many were skeptical of his chance.
So let's move to this scene. Use SFX of very short and low volume. So you listen the music now.
Skeptical of his chances of success, but
In
it
headphone,
takes
it's look nice, but on speakers, on mobile phone devices, it is not going to look nice. So we have to take care of this also, right?
the challenge head on and emerges victorious, turning the fortunes of the company around and making it profitable once again. He is hailed as a saviour, a brilliant businessman.
I can't even find the scene where it has gone. Victorious.
The challenge head on and emerges
So I think
victorious.
from headphone I can also listen. The voiceover volume is 60. This is the usual voiceover, right? Means usual sound setting, right? You need to listen it on 60. But you guys are listening on the your headphones, right? I hope so. And this is one reason I have seen in the past, like the problems, right? What happens when we listen on headphones? Everything sounds good, cool, because earlier when we used to produce the sound designs and music for music companies, what used to happen, they used to ask us that please listen and review it, Gaurav, on your different sound systems, right? So it should sound great on bass car tubes, and also on mobile phone, and also cheap phones, also on good headphones, and but most importantly on speakers and all, right? So you guys need to do that because your sound is sounding way far better in headphones, and you have mixed it properly, but it's almost killed if you listen it from any other devices.
Turning the fortunes of the company around and making it
So fast and quick thing, use clapping and shouting and VFX over here, right? SFX, right?
profitable once again. He is hailed
So one thing more, here they are losing the job. Please go by the feel of the movie, right? What the story is telling. So story is telling that he got multiple time bankruptcy, and their flight attendants and all were not able to get payrolls and pension, so they cannot laugh at all. Okay,
their
please be correct from the basics.
pensions and jobs in the process.
Now let's quickly move to the next scene. Increase the BGM here also. So I think BGM problem will be solved when you will use
modest but loving Jewish family. On the surface, his family was the spitting image of what one would call normal. But
so BGM is lower only just because of that.
In reality,
you
they
change
were
that
anything
part.
but normal. Carl's father cast a heavy, oppressive shadow over his life.
So I told you just increase the BGM very fast. Car SFX. Use the car SFX in the scene, right? Let me increase this part for you. Okay, so use car SFX on this part. You can find the car, this scene, right? It must be over here somewhere. I cannot find it right now. Use SFX in the beach sound, okay? Then education. Change running BGM. Change the running BGM. Means there's a problem in this scene. Means background music you have to change it. There must be problem, and I can see if I can see it. Let me zoom over here and let me go through it over here so that I can see the time. It's 2:50, right? 2:58 something. And let's go back to the scene. See, the video is recorded by the computer sound, and so you can also get the feel that it may be correct, but when you listen it on other devices, it will not sound good. So 2:58, and I have asked you to change the background music.
Encourages him every step of the way. But before he sets off turning his ambitions into reality, he first has to get through with his education.
So this is sounding like a space kind of movie, right? You listen to the BGM.
From that point, from the get-go, Elliot serves as a role model and mentor for has to get through with his education. Young Carl's ambition is now ablaze, and he begins exceeding all expectations at his local grade school.
So it's like space is traveling in the spaceship is traveling in the space, right?
Passion for reading earns him remarkable success.
I asked you to lower this volume, but it's lowered, but it's sounding high pitches still.
One day, he receives the opportunity of a life.
So let's pause it. Let's move it to the next comment. Remove this. Now, please remove these scenes. See, again, I mentioned that please do not use single thing which is like in low quality, okay? So this is in low quality, this cropped thing. Okay, you could have used it, but use something else into it, or try to use some light or something else in the background to blur these edges, because they look they are clearly mentioned. These are clearly noticeable, right? Identifiable when you are using it on a dark background, right? And this similarly goes through with this scholarship text. So what you could have done, either you change this entirely, because I know these things cannot be corrected right now. So what you can do, please remove it for right now. Otherwise, I would have suggested you, if you are using something else, you should have used white or yellow background over here, or the white background. Then these white crops could have easily gone. These cut, right? But as it's a dark, it is noticeable, right? So let's remove the scholarship thing or use white on background. Okay, fine. So one thing is crop it properly. I mentioned this, and this is noticeable when you use dark background, something in the behind, and you should use dark background. But when you get the images from the artificial intelligence, our servers, or from anywhere, right? So you need to see it. You cut that because you have used this image multiple times, and multiple times this error has occurred. So I know it's simple for you to change one image correctly. So you crop it at the very beginning, and then you use artificial intelligence correctly. Okay. Then this is use better quality image. Now either you get it from better somewhere else, because you just use there was a line and he got the setback from the gut, like the punch, right? So this was the line. So either you could have remove the grain, if you means this is like more technical and hard work than using something else instead of this scene, or else you use some what should I say, because when you see the movie in the let's see the time, I missed the times again and again, right? Oh gosh, no worries, because when you zoom out this thing, it will look more bad than normal. Okay, when you will see the thing in high quality, see because people are going to see this in full window, right? And when you'll scale this in HD format, it is more going to look to bad, right? Okay, So let's move to next part. In the next scene also, so you have used this scene, and I have asked you not to badly crop. So you take care of it in the first place. You correct the things, and then every time you will do it, it will go better. On this scene, use school ambience SFX. I am asking again and again to put SFX because the entire hard work of our editors will go down if you will not, if you guys are not going to put proper SFX and the BGM if it's not connecting, because the only thing is now going to bind is the BGM SFX, right? Because your motion is done, but imagine if the motion doesn't have the sound effect required, it's not going to work. So one thing is for gripping more, the more it is to, I'm showing you this on a small screen, but believe it or not, on the big screen it's looking way dirty. Let's say where it is now. Again I have to see 545 or 340, right? So let's go to 345, 340 something. Quickly move to 340. So it's mentioned over here. See, one can easily notice this when the scene will, because this is the only character on the screen, and even on the behind the scene you have used this here. So you see, everyone can notice this is badly cropped, right? Because the scenes are staying for at least 1, 2, 3 seconds, and see, everything is properly cropped here. You could have used drop shadow over there in scholarship scene, then your highlight, there would be no problem of cropping looking over here. But apart from it, this is looking clearly noticeable. So everywhere you use one proper clip and then use it properly. I know this is AI generated, it is a pixel cut, right? So please crop it after that also if you are using a set, right?
Exposed to there.
Okay, again I have to come back to the scene, change it everywhere. See, it's coming again and again, it is looking this way. Again, change the head. Now you need to change the head because it's looking this way, right? It's not looking again great, it is somewhere else. So you see this in, and this scene is for very long time, and again I asked you to replace the head or use some other picture for this guy. And if it is from the one scene, you just need to change the head. Oh gosh, right? Everything is clear. And why I asked you to add particle on this scene? You see, I have mentioned use particle in the sky, because this crop can go down and something is keep happening over here in the sky. Okay, you can use it in background, or see, then thing will look better, right? Use water or swimming as effects. So you use it, what is this saying, right? It binds your viewers. Then use bird and ship horn, because it's saying everything should be smooth sailing, and you need to keep buzzing things, right? And it should not, again I'm mentioning, please increase the BGM only little bit, use the SFX, but it should not be louder than your voiceover or BGM, right? It should be there, but it is something that fills the gap, not overcharge or surcharge, right? Okay, beach at the club in the Rockstar, beach as SFX. So this time I have put a lot of perfection in you guys, right? Every time I used to leave, now you are getting things better. So I need to put cheers effect, sip away at the Martins. Let's see if I have captured the time or not. Okay.
To overcome yet another obstacle.
Can you see how much slow music it's looking again?
Before long, he finds a job as a
Your BGM is very low.
beach boy at a club in the Rock.
And still, he is like a beach boy at the club in the Rockaway. So there should be something partying music, kind of thing should be there, right? Or something you bella, right? Kind of thing music.
Enviously watching the wealthy as they sip away at martinis and
so you need to do some partying SFX over here.
savor the sunshine, the life he yearns for. He notices some of the cabana.
So change the BGM and add background music and add. यहाँ पे भी आपको in this scene also, I'm sorry I have like been asked to only speak in English because of my foreign viewers as well as, right, and the guys. So you over here also need to change the background music, right?
Table and decimates the competition. To Carl, poker was just a big game.
So here it's also looking very gloomy music, and whereas it is documentary, he is playing poker, he is taking the risk. So you guys need to change the SFX. Okay, add beach SFX over here also.
With big stakes. Every summer he'd pocket a whopping 2,000.
Imagine the wave sounds, zoom, something coming out of wave water, right?
$1,000, an amount equivalent to roughly $50,000 in today's currency. At Princeton, the socially...
I think you guys have used it. I can listen it in the I think if you guys have used the BGM and SFX everywhere, please raise its volume, because it went totally unnoticeable, right?
Awkward.
And one more thing, also try to boost your audio. There are multiple settings. See how good renders of audio setting and video setting comes out, right? Because your entire effort will go waste, right? The high quality movie go waste.
Carl Icahn feels isolated. When he isn't in the library poring over course material, he's usually...
So one suggestion can be, if you are if you cannot preview on your speakers or phone, what you can do, you can just buy the assumption and approximation technique. You can, let's say if it's on 0 decibel, what you could have done, you could have increased it to something, let's say 1 or 2, and you can see in the audio meter if it's okay or
After
not.
gambling his way through Princeton and receiving the McCosh Prize for the finest thesis written by a student in the philosophy department, Icahn graduated in 1957.
This is the regular, and this
Icahn is now faced with a difficult
one.
decision. He has to pick a profession and commit to it for the rest of
So I think you noticed the thing.
his life. Meanwhile, his
Okay, it's you need to check the this audio meter as well as, okay.
mother is pressed.
Now quickly come back to the scene, because I have to mention something. I was not able to highlight few things, otherwise I would have mentioned. Use particle in the background. Oh my god. Okay, use particle in the background. Let's quickly move to the scene. Why I'm asking at some places use here and there, because if the entire background looks simple.
Finest thesis. To Carl, poker was just a big game with big stakes.
And this gloomy music is not good.
Every summer he'd pocket a whopping $2,000, an amount equivalent to roughly $50,000 in today's currency. At Princeton, the socially awkward Carl Icahn feels isolated. When he isn't in the library poring over course material, he's usually playing poker. After gambling his way through Princeton and receiving the McCosh Prize for the finest thesis written by a student in the philosophy department, Icahn graduated in...
Okay, for this part it's okay, don't use it particle, because not good scene, not that much big scene. Okay, graduate SFX and shouting. You know, people have shouts on graduate. Use those kind of SFX, but in non-noticeable way. And this part, it has caused blunder, right? You please just mention this part. यहाँ पे आवाज down हो गई है, right? So what it means, like the sound is low over here, extremely low. Now I'll point you where it is. I need to see the, okay, 537, 637. Okay, you listen yourself.
Posh Prize for the finest thesis. Icahn graduated in 1957. Icahn is now faced with a difficult decision. He has to pick
I'm sorry, I need to
a profession and commit to it for the rest of his life.
OMG.
Meanwhile, his mother is pressuring him to go to medical school. After a heated back and forth argument with her, he reluctantly agrees, enrolling in the New York University of Medicine. His focus...
Can you listen? You see the from audio curve only you can listen it, right? Let's put it back. And you listen to it properly. You see the audio curve.
New York University of Medicine. His focus and capacity
Can you listen
to study
easily?
made him well suited
It's gone
for
down.
medicine. He hates it. After 2 years of...
Okay? So change that. BGM, add army SFX, and it got slow again. So you might be using some, we can see from the SFX, this audio curve as well as, right, waveform.
drops out and joins the army. The army was a place where Icahn learned important lessons about risk-taking. in an environment where important lessons about the army was a place where Icahn learned
So there is very less BGM, I think.
important
Right?
lessons about risk taking. In an
BGM is there. I also ask you guys, when you use, see, again and again I am mentioning this, from the audio curve only you can see what's happening and what's not. So this part is going to be slower than normal.
recognizes that there was a lot of money to be made by, and before long he's found it, the options market.
So it is okay.
In life and in business, there are two deadly sins. The first is to act rashly without thinking. Interconnected steps.
So you listen the background music curve and it is again slower for this area. So what happens when you add two BGMs, there is always an intro in the BGM. When a sound designer creates a BGM, there is an intro and the outro of the BGM, and then there is a main body of the BGM. So the main body of the BGM is mostly required. You just crop it down, chop it down, the intro and outro, and you just only leave that much part where you can add this BGM transitionally to the other BGM's outro, right? And do not use full BGM style, because we have very less time to show our content. So if you are using the your intro part, your main body part, so we are only focused about the main body part, but you need to have some pony, some tail of intro and outro part as well, as just because so that you can use your transition and just mix them properly, right?
Icahn recognizes that there was a lot of money to be made by special.
So I think it's clear. Now let me add thunder sound as effects. I think clear. Change the image. Change this image. This is looking very dirty in the movie, right? Please do it as soon as possible. I'm saying no BGM sound in the scene starting, right? Now this guy is I know this is AI generated, but he is looking crow, okay, crow in the scene. Please do not use this. Okay, change him. Then what the audio render setting changed again. So let me show you this again. 1338. Okay, do this. So you see 1338.
Intelligence. Me, I'm studying natural stupidity.
Why I mentioned, you see from your side. I think the editor knows properly what I am saying, because this is like something I have to show. So you see, anyone can notice this part, right, is in lower curve and this is higher curve.
Change. In 1968, Icahn & Company, his own brokerage firm. Stupidity. Icahn & Co. performs well.
Can you see this is higher in volume and this is lower?
1968, with $150,000.
Listen to the voiceover.
And a force to be reckoned with. He's still earning Icahn around 100
million. Can you listen it properly what I am saying? Please do not make this blunder, because this is a sign of unprofessionalism, okay? Okay, add particles of flickering effect in the background. So it must be plain, so I asked you. Cut his hair properly. Please do this properly. I asked you to do this. Because these are things going noticeable by the content and the creative artist that sits on the client side, right? And they will say that yes, despite mentioning many times, these company is not making it properly. So when you are using beforehand, you just chop it down, right? At the first hand, you just crop it properly. Okay, let's move it to what other thing I have to say. Change this photo. Okay, this is the childhood struggle. What idiotic picture you use every time you use something that is not at all relevant to the scene, right? Please do not use imagine the audience. You are showing the content to the top notch audience in the world, and that too also a very finance content is being it's been seen by the guys who are the top notch of the world, and your content will definitely be clicked off, because this is not for the normal guys and normal crowd, normal audience, but those who are the audience of it are very intellectual in itself, so they won't tolerate any kind of idiotic thing, right? So please use relevant thing. This is the same blunder as you guys did in the using happy photos of the guys being fired off, right? So please do it properly. Add trading floor SFX. Okay, you guys have done a lot of good work, and you know it. I'm constantly asking for the improvement in your production, in your things. So this quote shouldn't be. Why it could have gone unnoticed if there was not this dark background. But the scene it's looking very nice. So what happens? There should be some particles in the background, and please cut this quote properly. You mask it in your composition if you do not want to crop it again in the Photoshop. Okay. No BGM is running or may into the BGM. Oh my god, what I am saying, I am not getting myself. So this is something again happening in 1555. Okay, let's move to 1555 again. Can you see this downward curve, upward curve in the audio waveform, right? It is telling itself.
With just investing in takeovers. He has seen time and time again how acquisitions proactive approach. Why not Icahn? Then, after becoming the majority shareholder, he is involved in a proxy fight.
So there must be some.
Then, after becoming the majority shareholder, he's in.
There's a gap or there's an intro. I'm talking about the BGM. There is no BGM almost.
The majority shareholder, he is involved in a proxy fight, which results in the eventual sale.
That is why I ask you not to use intro and outro of the BGM, right? Just use the main body every time.
Investment.
Whereas I have to go 15.
And served as Carl's entry into the world of.
See, there is no BGM again.
Corporate take.
I know there is a BGM in the background, but you always intro and outro part of the BGM is a lot lower because it's see, the music is getting started, it's taking its mood, but your mood is already running, right?
Covers. After that, he targets Marshall Fields and Phillips Petroleum.
So you see, it is going unnoticeable.
To pay him, netting him a lot of money.
No BGM again.
Years later, he notices another
So these are the good music, but instead raise it. Their volumes are very low.
Valued company, ACF Industries.
And this train part is very nice. Today I'm not appreciating anything. It means it's many things are there for appreciation. You see the quality of the graphics are very high for by my editors, right? But I'm making them more and more perfect every time. You see, every scene is looking very great. But if I'll not add, who is going to lift them up, right? So these are the things which is my duty and to do this. Okay. So add flickering of particle in the background, those coloring, shining sky or something else, right? Shooting to the scene. No BGM is running into the scene. Aeroplane SFX is required over here. Use small s. Use small s over here. 1960, use small s. No BGM again. So you see, there is a BGM, you have used it, but 1842, but it's not noticeable. Go to 1842.
Lorenzo. In 1985, a contract was signed.
So BGM is all okay. You just raise the level. You raise the level of voiceover as well as, but you raise the BGM voiceover as well as.
Of TWA, and it seemed as though Icahn's plans had
you increase little bit BGM.
Been thwarted. But Carl Icahn isn't one to come to an agreement with the work. And
I think, guys, it's very clear now. Everything is getting great. Slower the SFX, please. For this curve, I asked thrice in the night also. Please do not use this SFX sharp, steeper voice, right? It's very high, harsh tone, right? And let's see where it is. Okay, it's around 2034. Let's listen to it.
$540 million in debt.
You listen to frequency.
Debt. Soon after.
So you can lower this. Or instead, what will happen if you will increase the BGM and voiceover, and please leave this as effects it's on own speed. It is not going to cause the ear harshness, okay?
Afterward, 4,000 flight attendants are let go in layoffs, and TWA's overall financial performance begins to slump.
I think I don't have any more comment. It is just, this is like the more critical. You see, the most of the time you guys see the your feedback is mostly in the relaxed time where I sit properly and give the positive and negative feedback. Now this movie is on the verge of going crossing the deadline, so we need to focus of doing things on on correction rather than explaining thing and making and pointing good and bad things. So I have to especially I have to criticize this whole thing. What is wrong? Use old photo over here. One thing more, your asset team has provided you the photos or asset, or rather if you are doing by yourself, please take care of it, the age it is talking. Earlier there was guy, now your movie was now to this point where you should only use the old guy like this age, right? You were doing, but in this again scene you are using the those photos. So people are not happy with this thing, right? They cannot correlate, because I was watching your whole movie in the one go, right? I wasn't focusing what's old, what's bad. So wherever it's looking, because see, now he's talking the present time and you've used this photos, right? PNGs of his young time. It's not required. Please be relevant. I'm talking to this editor's part. You have to take care of this when it's talking about childhood, when it's in the middle age, and in which ages. That is why this is the instruction goes to the pipeline of the asset team, right? Use it properly. Okay, so everyone learns. Now the last feedback is, please don't use this overlay. This kills the quality. Instead, you just show the thing directly, right? With vignette on the sides, right? It is okay, and some particles here and there. And please use some mask every time. Okay, guys, thank you for your time. Please correct it as soon as possible, right? Thanks for the movie. And only one thing I just want to mention, like, see, I have other movies also in my library over here. You just see, and if I'll compare to the voiceover of anyone, right? It's just, I think it's a Mazda one again. Back to the scene. Anyone you compare your voiceover
Then resell.
and to the other.
Tsuenji Matsuda, the son of Jujiro Matsuda,
For being
Can you
unsympathetic,
listen the difference?
standing middle class,
I have asked them to have a good audio render setting every time.
but TWA emerges saddled with
So see this, and
were to relocate to Nissan, Toyota, or Mitsubishi.
can you also listen the SFX?
On the
See how it's sounding very
competing
great.
worldwide, many small OEMs were to relocate to Nissan,
Zoom.
Toyota, or Mitsubishi.
Okay, I think everything is clear. Okay, guys, thank you for your time. I think you understood why, and also in the intro, why things are going bad. Your graphics, your movies, everything is great. So thank you for you guys, and I'm running very short, and I'm extremely sorry for criticizing only IR. There is a hell lot of things that I wanted to point out as a positive thing for my junior editors as well as for my senior editors as well as. Thanks everybody. Just due to the shortness of the time, I am not able to do that. Thank you. Take care, and please mind the feedbacks. And I do not have to shout this much again.